So today guys, we're going to be going over 5 things that you perhaps missed when watching the World War II multiplayer reveal trailer, and if you missed it last night, then these are just 5 things in my personal opinion that you guys should be picking up on. Before that though, I just want to thank all you guys for last night's support on the trailer. You guys absolutely killed it in terms of the views, the likes, the comments, and there was a lot of interaction in the comment section, so let's see if we can do the same on today's video. Also, before we get into the first point, if you guys could leave a like in the video down below early to show you support my videos, and if you're new around here and enjoyed the content, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, let's get into the first thing that you guys perhaps missed or didn't pick up upon in the World War II multiplayer reveal trailer, which is the HUD. The HUD, well, where was it? It didn't exist in the trailer, it wasn't there. HUD meaning heads-up display for those of you who didn't know that terminology, and that comes under everything on your screen besides the actual gun itself and what your character is doing, so crosshairs, how much ammo is in your gun, the kill streaks being able to call in if they're on standby ready to come in, and stuff like that. So you get the gist of that. There was none of that, and I think that adds to the realism of the World War II effect that they really wanted respectively to meet with this game. Now we are expecting to see a HUD of some sort in the core game modes in Call of Duty World War II's multiplayer. However, they may not implement it in the trailer because, like I said before, it's adding to the respect and that detail, that level of detail. They want to go beyond all of the Call of Duties that have actually been based around a time period, such as World at War, Black Ops 1, and you get the gist of it. They want to have more detail to the realism than any other Call of Duty set around an actual real life happening time period. It's something new, it's something we've never seen before in a Call of Duty trailer, and Sledgehammer always brings something new to the table in terms of their innovations, whether we like them or not. Exosuits. I'm going to try and keep my personal opinions to myself because I personally liked Advanced Warfare in certain aspects of enjoyment and everything. So nicely leading on to the second point, linking in with that first point, the realism and everything that I talked about, is the fact that there was no optical reticles or sights in this multiplayer trailer. Obviously at this time period in World War II, we didn't have any technological developments to have red dot sights, ELO sights, and Varix 3 sights and everything like that we see in Black Ops 3 or Infinite Warfare. However, if you do look back at World at War, we actually see an aperture sight which is kind of like a spin-off or World War II themed red dot sight. I don't think that actually exists in real life. And we also had the ACOG scope or the ACOG scope or whatever you want to call it. And again, that's just adding to the level of detail, because if these things didn't actually exist or they can't be confirmed to exist at this time and actually have the real name for them, aperture sight, like they have in World at War, they don't want to put it in the game to add to that level of detail or don't decrease the detail factor that they actually want to portray with this World War II game. The third thing you guys may have missed is an interesting one. A lot of people will be happy about this feature returning, this movement mechanic, the Dolphin Dive. So basically in the trailer we see an explosion go off. You guys will be seeing it on your screen anyways. An explosion goes off and then the soldier kind of either gets thrown out of the way due to the radius blast and ragdoll affected over towards, like, I don't know, a ditch or something, or is maybe just flinging himself out of the way. It might have just been a cinematic effect to again really portray the feel of World War II and what actually happened within it. However, in the next clip afterwards you see him landing and it looks like a gameplay movement mechanic that we're going to be able to implement into our playstyle, our strategy, and when we're moving around the map. I know World War II was a war where if there was like guns firing and stuff above your head, you just dropped to the floor, you didn't fling yourself out of the way. However, in circumstances like this with explosions, it is understandable to why this feature will be a movement mechanic that we can implement and use when we're playing Call of Duty World War II and also the multiplayer. Moving on to the fourth point, this is kind of contradictory to all the 3 other points I've made linking to realism, as this is the complete polar opposite. So basically throughout this trailer, obviously we're going to be seeing Americans fight Germans and vice versa. However, in terms of the portrayal of the German or Nazi army, they didn't have a swastika to represent them. Now I know in terms of the aspects of making things real and stuff, the swastika is a variable in this day and age and stuff because it was such a drastic incident, but when you actually want to have that level of detail in terms of the gore and everything, and you're actually basing this around a World War II game, I think it's acceptable to actually include that within there, because obviously you're not using it for kind of Semitic purposes or anti-Semitic purposes or whatever you want to call it. We ain't no PewDiePie. And the blanket term that I use there to describe the swastika as the incident in quotation marks is basically to cover all aspects of the horrifying happenings and doings and actions that the Nazis actually carried out during the World War II period. Obviously it's going to be fitting towards an actual time period because in plays and stuff and movies they still have swastikas, which I can't understand why they wouldn't have it in a game where they really want to appeal to the realism. It just doesn't make sense to me why it'd be acceptable in one format, a movie or a play, or a show, whatever, and not a game which is literally, I mean, first glance, you know it's based around a time period of something that's happened, World War II, where they want to appeal to that level of realism that no other game has actually gone and pushed boundaries to actually meet yet. Although we saw the Nazi symbol or the swastika or the Nazi logo in World at War. So we're kind of going forward a bit and we're kind of going backwards a bit in terms of the realism and respectively giving the amount of detail to actually appeal to a real feel of World War II in a simulation format. So now moving on to the final thing that I want to discuss with you guys that you perhaps missed in the Call of Duty World War II multiplayer reveal trailer is the destructible environment. Now obviously in the multiplayer reveal trailer we saw people with mounted machine guns on tanks and stuff. Whether tanks or other vehicles like airplanes and stuff only contribute towards the destructible scenery or environment in the game, I don't know, but we've definitely seen snippets of it in this World War II multiplayer reveal trailer where people are perhaps breaching places and stuff like that, or walls are blowing up and destruction's happening everywhere. So we've yet to find out about that and we're only in early stages yet, guys. Remember, there's a lot to change. They maybe could have vehicles in World War II's multiplayer right now when people at E3 are playing, and then in the beta that may change as well depending on people's different influx and opinions and feedback that they might give Sledgehammer, and then we have the full release version of the game. So there's a lot of development to go yet, and I want to know what you guys are the most hyped for, or the most controversial thing that I mentioned. What do you guys think it is? So let me know in the comment section down below, and leave a like in the video down below as well if you enjoyed today's video, or you want to keep everything I said in mind, whether you want to come back to the video and watch it again or not, I don't know, or show a friend. And make sure you share this video out there if you did enjoy and think others will too. So thank you all for watching. I love all your faces as usual. Peace out.